Hey guys, welcome back to Little Lady Plays. Today I have a new book. It's called We're All Not the Same, but We're Still Family. And this book, before I get into the review, I just want to warn you, if you're looking for a feel-good story to share with your kids, to share with yourself, this is definitely a book. But as you see, I'm going to kind of go through the review. I find it to be not realistic, but you'll understand as we go through it. So, feel good story, yes, and let's actually get into the book. So, this book, as you can see, it's about adoption and birth family. So, you have here this boy, his name is Deshaun, and he was put into the system and he finally gets adopted. And he is so happy, but at the same time, he's worried. Like, where does he come from? Who is he? I mean, it's a lot for a little boy to take in. Now, here's the first variable. The one thing I've known kids in the system, and number one, they're loved by their parents, and their adoptive parents don't want them to be in contact with their birth parent. I know this isn't, up for debate. I'm not here to start a debate, but this is something you should just, again, err on the side of caution. So he's worried, and then his family tries his best to help him fit in, but he notices some differences. They have discussions, and Deshaun's mom and dad, the adopted one, finally is like, okay, you don't want to see your mom, I get it. You want to see your dad, and they find him. Which, that's another thing. Err on the side of caution. Feel good story, yes. I am so happy in this case Deshaun found his father. But, again, I know people who've searched, and they couldn't exactly find it. So, but there are people that have happy endings, and like I said, this is a feel good story. So, he searches, he finds his father, then worry, which it's another thing. I know worry is very important, but the amount of time they speak about worry, anxiety, scared, for kids, you know, again, I know these feelings are a part of life and I don't hide it, and I tell my students all the time, like, feel your feelings. Totally cool. But when we focus on the negative ones, well, negative things happen. Anyway, back to the book. So, again, err on the side of caution with this book. So he sees his extended family, and then towards the end of the book, which that's something that I know is another variable, he gets to actually meet his real father, his birth father, who he didn't even know existed up until the beginning of the book. So, again, not so realistic, because there are a lot of times where adoptive families just don't feel it not appropriate, that's the wrong word. Again, it's your kid, I can't share the kid, will he love me more? And all these variables, and they're real feelings, and they should be taken up with a psychologist or a counselor or a social worker. But again, as far as this book goes, I'm so happy. Let's backtrace. Deshaun is adopted, good for him. And that feeling must be so amazing for him. And then he ends up finding his birth father, and he, at the end of the book, which is the best part, and I really, like I said, feel good story. At the end of the book, he gets to tell his friends and everything that he has two families who love him dearly. So in terms of feel good story, highly, highly recommend it. But in terms of, if you are adopting a child, no, but if you're going to read this to your adoptive children, just get the story clear in terms of what is your take as the new adoptive parent. Are you going to allow them to have communication with their birth parents if they have them, or not? Again, make it clear for yourself, because this book, if your answer is no, and that's totally up to you, you say nope, not having that relationship, and then you go and give them this book, well, you're going to set different hopes up. So number one, if you are an adoptive parent and you are going to get this book, it's a great book. But again, be realistic. Number two, if you just happen to find this book and you gift it to your children for a feel-good story, discuss with your kids in the many possible outcomes. Possible outcomes could be they never actually find the family. Possible outcomes could be the boy wants to live with his birth family, Deshaun wants to live with his birth family, and not his adoptive family. Another possible outcome, which is this one, they live happily ever after. So if you're going to read feel-good stories, and I highly recommend it because who doesn't like a story that's like smiley and happy? But again, this book is a great book. It has its purpose, but I cannot state enough, err on the side of caution. Know your stance before you read the book, and by all means, read this book to your kids. Have a great discussion with your kids and make them happy, because this book is definitely, it's a happy book. It's a very, very happy book with a very happy ending, and it appears from, I'll show you one more thing, it appears from the back that this is based off of a true story, and the story did have a happy ending, and I really hope that with time to come across more books or more biographies or vlogs or YouTube videos where there are happy endings, because you know what? Life can be happy. Happy playing.